I used to be told that there was like a few people who were, you know, kind of more spiritual and that they were somehow better than everyone else. And like I used to get told, oh, like I'm so lucky to know these people because, you know, there are so few of us. Now I sit there and go, well, that's rubbish. Now my whole world is surrounded by like amazing people, and there's no scarcity, there's no shortage of amazing people to be around. You know, it's not like there's just a select group of us. It's like, this is my reality now.
Definitely.
And especially with Sydney Space, I mean, it attracts people like me.
Yeah.
So over the last few weeks, especially since I've started running the Friday night meditation groups, I've just met all these really cool people in Perth. I'm like, oh my God, like Perth has just expanded so much for me because of it.
Yeah,
it's just this whole little community that's coming together now.
Yeah, very much so. And I think the big difference we have now compared to, let's say 2 years ago, like now, if you go through something or experience something, no matter if it's a vision, a dream, something to do with psychedelics or whatever it is, something that really profound happens to you. You might have gone traveling for 6 months and you've got a real new perspective on life, a real novel perspective on life. There is a fucking amazing group of people in Perth now that you can become associated with. A lot of that's got to do with, I think, Facebook's really helped with that, like bringing people together. What Jana's doing with Perth Trouble Awakening
is amazing.
It's just absolutely brilliant. And the people that she's bringing in together is phenomenal. Like, I often think about this actually, like how grateful I am to have the people around me, because if it wasn't for these really just quite amazing close friends that I've had for, especially over the last 3 or 4 years, like I don't think I would have been able to get through all that I've got through as well as I have. You know, I've just been very fortunate. And now I feel like I hate to use the word obligation, but it's sort of similar to you as well, where you're very fortunate to have all these people around you. Now, let's also help those who don't. Like, let's also help those who, and that's what the men's gatherings that Daniel Price and I are doing. It's very much about that as well. Like for men to get like, similar to you with that, you're talking about that Tantra circle. Like for me, the idea of actually attending a men's, like something where men go and talk, if I had heard about that 3 or 4 years ago, I would have rolled my eyes back and no thanks, that sounds too much for me. A lot of it was just my own ego and thought patterns, what I've been structured. But out of the 3 gatherings that we've had so far, each of them has just been incredible. Like every man's been there and just represented. There's no like fluffy woo-woo bullshit that goes on. You know, it's just like what you did, what you would want, like, well, should say what I wanted out of it anyway. And what Daniel also was asking for is what we've been able to bring up and really just manifest. And it's brilliant. It's so good. And I think there definitely needs to be, I feel there needs to be more of that. There needs to be more collectives getting together, more communities, groups, places like what you've started operating. Tasha's doing the same as well. Natasha Kelly, Jana with Perth Trouble Awakening, because it's ultimately going to benefit more and more people. And the idea of being isolated, kept in your nuclear family, away from your fellow brothers and sisters, we know now does not work.
Well, I think, you're right. And first, I'll say I love the work that you guys do. I don't know what happens in your men's circles, but...
I can't tell you, Isha. I'd have to kill you.
Not quite the right gender for that.
Not quite. You're missing a few...
Yeah, a few bits.
few body parts, yeah.
Which is a bit sad. I would actually come otherwise.
Sure.
But yeah, I think it's amazing that you've set up a space for men to actually go to and just be authentically men. Yeah. I mean, I know for me, women's circles have really helped me a lot. When I was going through a lot of stuff last year, those women's circles just totally held me. They supported me.
Cool.
And they gave me the chance to be completely raw and authentic, and there was no judgment. There was no stigma. It was just whatever I was going through was okay. And that's all I needed. That's all anyone needs. They just need a space where they can be heard, where they can be seen, where they can feel like they can just be themselves.
Sure.
And that's what these community groups offer. And there's something so powerful in having the separate women's and the men's groups, because I think it's just a different energy. You know, women understand
definitely.
women. They understand how each other work.
Yep.
You know, in our women's circles, there's a lot of talking. There's a lot of, you know, there might be emotions. There might be things that come up. And we can also talk about things like men.
Yeah.
I'm sure you guys would talk about women as well. Like, it's just something, it's a safe environment for us to do that without any judgment.
Yeah, so, for sure.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think there definitely needs to be more of that. And I think we are moving more back towards our community nature.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, we used to live, you know, in groups of 100, 150 people.
Yeah.
And that would be your tribe.
Yeah.
And
Dunbar's
they
rule.
used, they used to get together, you know, on the full moons, and they would have
Yeah.
their men's ceremonies and the women's ceremonies, and they get together in their
Yeah.
tribal celebrations. And I think we, like Perth especially, is really moving towards that. I mean, we've got all the full moon drumming now, like
Sure.
on the full moon evenings, and
Yeah.
we've got the TP sessions, you know,
Yeah.
with John Wife and things like that. And
The
that
tribal
whole,
fire ceremony, April 9th, everybody. There's still some tickets left for the men.
shameless plug.
The women have sold out, but yeah, if you're, to the men out there listening to this, fire tribal ceremony. Isha, you were part of the first one.
I was part of the first one.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
it
Yeah, I think it's grown a lot in this last. I mean, last one was only like 20 men and 20 women.
No, it was about 13 or 14 men and about 15 women.
Yeah, so
plus
it's
some few
small.
extras.
This one's
yeah,
going to be like 50.
50 of each. We're having
Massive.
We're gonna have. We're probably by the time it's all done, we're probably gonna have about 110 people.
Yeah, geez,
Yeah,
wow.
it's gonna be incredible. But yeah, I mean, it is an intrinsic part of being a human being. I think that's what we all got from the first tribal fire ceremony. It was like, right, okay, this is what it's like to be a human being.